Okay, so imagine this for a moment. Everything you're about to hear is real, not internet myths, not conspiracy theories, scientifically documented phenomena, recorded in archives, reviewed by experts. Events that challenge common sense not because they lack evidence, but because they exceed expectation. Prepare to question what possible actually means. Number 10. The Victorian Air Industry. In the late 19th century, an industry emerged that sounds almost satirical to modern ears. Entrepreneurs bottled air, and licensed physicians prescribed it. Industrial cities had become suffocating landscapes of coal smoke and chemical pollution. Observations showed that patients relocated to mountain regions or coastal climates often improved dramatically. The mistake was subtle. Correlation was interpreted as causation. Businesses began harvesting air from alpine forests, Mediterranean shores, and remote wilderness. Bottles came with certificates of geographic authenticity, implying that atmospheric composition varied in medically meaningful ways. Advertisements promised respiratory rejuvenation, neurological stabilization, extended vitality. Specialized inhalation devices reinforced the illusion of scientific precision. What makes this disturbing is not the gullibility. It was mainstream medicine. Medical journals discussed atmospheric quality with seriousness. Sanatorium architecture prioritized fresh air exposure as therapeutic design. Physical evidence still exists: preserved containers, advertisements, clinical notes. This was not fringe belief. It was a scientific paradigm paused halfway toward understanding. An entire industry built in the gap between ignorance and knowledge. Number 9. Animal trials in court. From medieval Europe into the early modern period, animals were formally prosecuted for crimes. This was not theatrical symbolism, it was legal procedure. Animals accused of homicide, crop destruction, or moral violations were arrested, imprisoned, assigned legal counsel, and tried before magistrates. In 1386 in France, a pig was tried for infanticide. Court transcripts detail the animal being dressed in human clothing before public execution. The bureaucratic precision is what makes it unsettling. In other cases, entire rat populations were summoned for agricultural destruction. When the animals failed to appear, their court-appointed lawyer argued that traveling was too dangerous due to predators. The court accepted the reasoning and postponed proceedings. Church authorities extended legal frameworks to insects. Swarms of locusts were formally excommunicated. To modern minds, this seems absurd. Within medieval cosmology, it was consistent. Animals existed within a divinely ordered moral universe. Justice applied universally. The records remain: court documents, ecclesiastical decrees, legal transcripts. This was bureaucracy applied beyond reason. Number 8. The Tunguska event. June 30th, 1908. Remote Siberia. Without warning, an explosion flattened approximately 80 million trees across thousands of square kilometers. Shockwaves were felt hundreds of kilometers away. Windows shattered. Seismic stations recorded the disturbance. Atmospheric pressure waves circled the globe. And yet, there was no crater, no obvious debris field. The explosion occurred mid-air. Modern analysis estimates an energy release comparable to dozens of thermonuclear weapons. This happened decades before nuclear weapons existed. What makes it feel fabricated is how little it changed history. The region was isolated. No major cities were destroyed. Civilization continued uninterrupted. But Tunguska was not unique. Similar impact events have occurred throughout Earth's history. We simply haven't been at the wrong coordinates at the wrong time. Yet, the planet possesses destructive capacity exceeding human weapons, without intention, without warning. Number 7. Earth's natural nuclear reactor. In 1972, scientists analyzing uranium ore in Gabon discovered something impossible. Uranium-235 levels were significantly depleted. That isotope does not vanish without nuclear fission. After ruling out contamination and measurement error, researchers reached a conclusion that seemed almost absurd. 2 billion years ago, this geological formation functioned as a natural nuclear reactor. At that time, natural uranium contained higher concentrations of U-235. Groundwater filtered through uranium-rich rock, moderating neutron flow just enough to sustain controlled fission reactions. The geometry aligned, the chemistry aligned, the physics aligned. The reactor would activate, generate heat, boil away the water moderator, shut down, cool, and then restart when water returned. This cycle may have continued for hundreds of thousands of years. Even more unsettling, radioactive byproducts remained largely contained for billions of years. Nature engineered nuclear containment long before humans attempted it. What feels like advanced technology was geology. Number 6. The Halifax Explosion. December 6, 1917, Halifax Harbor, Canada. A cargo ship loaded with high explosives caught fire. Civilians gathered to watch, unaware of the magnitude of danger. When it detonated, entire neighborhoods vanished. Shockwaves shattered windows miles away. A tsunami followed. Nearly 2,000 people died. This occurred decades before nuclear weapons. Medical professionals had no conceptual framework for blast trauma at that scale. Survivors displayed burns without flame exposure, internal injuries without visible wounds. Only after Hiroshima and Nagasaki did scientists revisit Halifax records and recognize similar pressure wave damage patterns. Humanity encountered near-nuclear devastation before understanding what it meant. The knowledge came after the suffering. Number 5. The Ozone Crisis. In the early 20th century, chemists created chlorofluorocarbons, stable, non-flammable, non-toxic compounds that revolutionized refrigeration and industry. For decades, nothing seemed wrong. Their very stability became the problem. CFCs rose into the stratosphere, where ultraviolet radiation broke them apart, releasing chlorine atoms that destroyed ozone molecules catalytically. One chlorine atom could dismantle thousands of ozone molecules. The ozone layer shields Earth from harmful radiation. Its thinning increased cancer risk and altered ecosystems. There were no explosions, no immediate catastrophe, just slow, invisible planetary modification. When satellite data revealed a massive ozone hole over Antarctica, it forced humanity to confront a new reality. We could alter global systems without intending to. We had become a planetary force. Number 4. Humanity's near-extinction events. Genetic analysis reveals something deeply unsettling. At multiple points in history, the human population collapsed to extremely low numbers. Some estimates suggest only a few thousand individuals remained worldwide. One bottleneck may correlate with a massive volcanic eruption roughly 74,000 years ago. Ash darkened skies, temperatures dropped, ecosystems collapsed. Genetic diversity in modern humans remains surprisingly narrow, consistent with survival from a tiny population base. What makes this disturbing is the absence of awareness. No legends, no recorded memory. Humanity nearly vanished without knowing it. Survival was not dramatic. It was statistical, fragile, uncertain. Number 3. Persistent organic pollutants. For generations, pollution was assumed to be temporary. Smoke dispersed, waste decomposed, rivers recovered. Then scientists discovered chemicals that defied that assumption. Persistent organic pollutants do not degrade naturally. They circulate indefinitely. Released in air or water, they migrate across ecosystems, bioaccumulating up food chains. They appear in Arctic ice cores, deep ocean sediments, remote mountain ranges. They resist time. Medical studies link them to endocrine disruption and developmental abnormalities. What disturbed scientists most was permanence. Some pollutants will outlast their creators. Human industry generated self-sustaining chemical systems that continue independent of human activity.
Number 2. Diseases that disappeared. Medicine prefers clear narratives: identify cause, develop cure, solve problem. History does not always cooperate. Some diseases declined or vanished before science understood why. Mortality rates shrunk without clear interventions. Trench fever devastated World War I soldiers, then largely faded. Certain plague variants diminished without coordinated eradication. Explanations, hygiene, immunity, environmental shifts came later. None fully explain timing or speed. Progress sometimes occurs before comprehension. Lives were saved, but knowledge lagged behind. Number 1. Why documented reality feels unreal. These events feel fabricated because they violate expectations about how knowledge should develop. We assume discovery follows preparation. In reality, events often precede understanding by decades or centuries. Evidence appears first, meaning arrives later. That temporal gap distorts perception. Another factor is complexity. Many of these phenomena span geology, chemistry, physics, biology, and sociology simultaneously. No single discipline controls the narrative. Without unified explanation, doubt fills the space. And finally, we mistake repetition for plausibility. Common events feel real, rare events feel impossible. But rarity does not weaken documentation. It weakens intuition. What these cases reveal is not that reality is unstable. It's that human frameworks are limited. Reality does not follow narrative structure. It leaves evidence scattered across time. Explanations arrive slowly. And sometimes the most rigorously documented facts feel the least believable, not because they lack proof, but because they exceed the stories we're comfortable telling. And remember, the universe doesn't reveal its secrets to those who rush. It reveals them to those who know how to look. Subscribe and keep listening to the silence.